So, Luke, Zach Taylor says he believes that it's a sprained right wrist for Joe Burrow, and he believes that injury happened when he was tackled in those highlights we showed you. But Joe Burrow was wearing a brace on his right wrist before the game. The Bengals did not have him on the injury report. He leaves the game with an injury. What do you make of this whole situation?
Jay, this whole situation is wildly sketch. That's what I'm going to say. And let me tell you something. I had an 8-year career, and my medical file, which I saw the other day, was 10,000 pages long. Okay, in today's NFL, you can't go in there and get a bag of ice for a quote-unquote contusion, aka bruise, without it being documented.
Right.
So the idea that this guy, who's your starting quarterback, one of the most popular players in the NFL, had on a brace on his wrist and the head coach had no idea, or the trainers didn't report it, or it wasn't on the injury report, and then again, it looked like he got hit, but the final straw there was a non-contact throw.
Yeah.
Is very, very peculiar, let's say. I think there's going to be a lot of questions coming down from the union. I think there'll be a lot of questions coming down from the league on this.
Yeah.
And unless that contraption on Joe's wrist pregame was some sort of fashion statement, we're going to have some problems.
And we should mention Zach Taylor was not asked about the injury report at all. So it'll be curious to see if he is asked about it over the next few days, and I have a feeling he will be. So since he now is 5-5, we know the AFC North is extremely competitive. We just showed it to you. 3 of the 4 teams are in the playoffs. Joe Burrow's obviously hurt, might be gone for the season. Is this season effectively over for Cincinnati?
It's not over yet, but it certainly looks that way. And we're going to talk about Joe Burrow. But you sit here, and if Joe Burrow is not playing, I really think the magic number to get into a wild card is 10. The fact is, they got 7 games left. That means they're going to have to win 5 of the last 7, potentially without Joe Burrow for a few games. I don't see that happening. And then for those Bengals fans who may still have hope that they could win the division, again, you're now 3 back of the Ravens, but you have a terrible conference record, and you're 0-3 in the division right now. So you'd really have to, they're going to lose the tiebreaker. You'd have to beat them by 4 with 7 games. That's not happening. So I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but given a 7-0 run with potentially Jake Browning as your quarterback, Bengals, it's not looking good.
Odds are not looking great. Ravens, meanwhile, looking much better. It was a very disappointing loss last Sunday to the Browns, no doubt, but they are 8-4 now. One thing we didn't show you, we mentioned Mark Andrews was injured, and it's a high ankle sprain, and it looks like he's done for the season. John Harbaugh actually said it after the game. Looks like Mark Andrews done for the season. So that's a big, big loss. As you know, he's one of the very best tight ends in the game. But despite all that, are they still the team to beat in the AFC?
I still think so. The Andrews loss is huge, and you won't be able to replace him, especially at that position. But you saw OBJ tonight. You saw a few things. But what I like is this offense. We all know the defense is very, very stout. But offensively, they're becoming very balanced. They can run the ball. Today, they threw the ball very well. And I just mentioned OBJ was the guy tonight. Could be Flowers. Could be, Aguilar had a big catch.
Yeah.
What I like is this combination they have at running back now with this guy, Gus Edwards, and the rookie, Keaton Mitchell. Gus is more of a downhill runner. So if you look at this play here, Jay, Lamar Jackson is under center. They run a zone to the left. They really get Gus moving downhill, which is what he's better at. Now here you've got the rookie Mitchell, who's a little lighter and quicker. They're out of shotgun. This is a traditional zone read. That defensive end has to play both Lamar and this explosive back in Keaton Mitchell. So again, you just add another dimension of what you have to prepare for. Lamar was able to sling it today. He had the touchdown there. We saw in the highlights of him extending plays. So again, if you're a D coordinator and you're preparing for this Baltimore team, and now you got Lamar, which keeps your hand full.
Yeah.
You got OBJ. Isaiah likely will have to step up and try and fill some of Andrews' role. And now you have this 2-back system, one of which you're going to be primarily under center in the pistol, running downhill right at you.
Yep.
And you can get this zone read running back. Very, very tough to prepare for.
Luke, on Wednesday's show, you told us about your COVID mustache. And, oh, look, we've got a picture.
Uh-oh.
And I got to tell you.
Oh, no.
I love it. I love it. I love everything about it.
Oh, no.
And you look genuinely scary here, frightening.
These are my playing days. We used to cut the top of my little skull cap there and spray the man bun forward. I used to call that the octopus. It's a true story. That's not a great
What
look
did you
for me.
call what was hanging off your chin there?
I got
did that
no
have a name?
No, it
That
didn't.
did not have a
And
name?
it's not coming back.